just poured it. So it is a little bit hot. I know it's really chilly out, but do give it a moment to cool down. But I did turn the heat on, not too high because I know you and me are the same. That we like to be bundled up all with the blankets. So I have all the blankets for you. I have a nice heavy duvet or a lighter throw, and I think I have a couple next to you here that are freshly laundered, and they smell so light and beautiful. So, but I wanted to make sure that you are cozy and just feel so taken care of. You deserve the world, and I know today we're going to have so much fun with this color analysis. And just all of it, we're going to go through what colors look best on you, what complement your features. I'm really excited. I know we've been meaning to do this forever now. And how about this? How about after we make some peppermint hot chocolate? And here's the secret ingredient is a little bit of peppermint vanilla cold foam. That will be so good. So tonight's just a full treat before the new year. And let me tell you, I know we were kind of going back and forth on, how you were feeling, and just that, this time of year really gets so busy and so overwhelming. And really just the lack of sunlight, at least, for me as well, just that seasonal kind of somberness really kicks in. So tonight I am really happy and really grateful that I'll be partnering with Grow Therapy. So for me, I've been in therapy for a few years now, and it has been so supportive and so wonderful to kind of, have someone have that therapist-patient relationship that you can really share anything and work on, all the parts. So for me specifically, right, I've really worked on IFS, which is internal family systems. So it's also called like parts work. And I wanted to share that with you because it is such a lovely tool that I've used to kind of really give so much compassion and kindness and gratitude to all parts of myself, right? I like to show up every single day, with that compassion for other people and also, myself, right? It really does help me stay optimistic and especially mindful. Mindfulness is like the absolute gateway to just really calming the mind, and even just having a hot cup of tea sitting with you, anytime we get to catch up, it's just so incredibly calming and reassuring. And I'm just so happy that you're in my life, and it's just one of the things that I really wanted to share with you as well, because it has helped me, so much in so many different ways, and just grow as a person, stay optimistic, and really, again, just give that compassion every single day, to myself, and even on the lower days and in the seasons where, in the winter, right, we can all get a little bit more down. So having someone as a support is just, I find, so helpful and so rewarding to watch how you grow and evolve, and just being seen and heard for all areas of your life, right? So one of the reasons that I absolutely love Grow Therapy is that it's not matching you with a therapist, right? You have full reign to pick and choose the therapist that is going to support you best. Grow Therapy allows you to filter by identity and faith and gender, and as a queer person, I think this is super important, right? When I was finding a therapist where, our values aligned and I felt safe and comfortable to share what's going on, super vulnerable parts of my life, right? And I know that we've always done that together, right? So why wouldn't you want someone that is super supportive and sees you, for you, that you feel comfortable with, right? So they are not matching you with anyone. It is not a subscription service where you're obliged this is something that, of course, is super important to me as well to share that, that therapy is accessible and affordable for everyone. It's not a luxury, and it's not for, a lot of times people feel that, therapy is right when they're at their lowest and they're seeking it. Then I think it's, an incredible tool to just, share what's best in your life, right? And what you want to work on. And it doesn't have to be, when you're at your lowest. It could just be when you want to work on, a certain part of yourself, or, share what's going on in your life to really get the support and kindness and be heard, that you need, right? And I think we all, need a little bit of support, whether it's through our relationships or our friendships, or our hobbies, right? They all support us in a different way. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you as well, because therapy has truly helped me, and I feel become a better person, a more, mindful person, where I can really see what's going on and just continually grow throughout the years. And yeah, really wanted to share that with you. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, because it is something that is near and dear to my heart, that I always feel that, everyone deserves the support and compassion and kindness to give to themselves, right? To look inwards and give that, to yourself, right? I would say that, having someone guide you towards that and guide you towards the compassion and love that we all, deserve and are all capable of, is something that is truly so beautiful. So, I wanted to share a little bit about that with you today as well, especially during this season. I know it can get really hectic, really overwhelming with the holidays and resolutions, this idea that we need to do everything all at once, right? And change overnight, and, so many things that we adopt from society, and things that are learned, and things that just, we might be unaware of, right? So yeah, so again, I could talk about it forever, really. And Grow Therapy is such a wonderful tool to find someone that can support you best, as well as, ensure that you can see which insurance plans, certain therapists take. You can, filter if you wanted to do virtual, in person, right? Truly, whatever would make you most comfortable. not just your skin tone, right? Or how pigmented or how, fair. None of that, right? It's really looking into what kind of that just natural undertone that you have. Is it more neutral? Is it warmer? Is it cooler? And there are some different ways we could figure this out, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So we have winter and summer are cool, and each of them have 3 subsections. So we have soft, true, and deep. So for example, you could be a soft spring, you could be a true spring, or a deep spring. Sometimes I believe they call it something else as well, where it's like a bright winter is really a deep winter, or a true winter is a cool winter, So there's some different names that is given to this, but essentially there are 3 subgroups towards each season where you can really see what works best. So we'll be doing that with a ton of different colors and fabrics, and we'll see how they, I'll be placing them on your décolletage here, just draping them over, and you'll be able to really see what brightens up your face or makes you look, let's say, a little more tired, dull. It's meant to complement your features, enhance you, not, I think the best way to see it in the mirror or see it on yourself is that if your attention goes immediately to that color, and instead of looking at your beautiful features, right, then that might not be in your color palette because it's contrasting so hard with your natural tones and just beautiful colors that you naturally have, your eye color, your hair color, your skin tone, right? And I know there's different principles, right, where it's just undertone and they don't consider hair. I like to be as holistic as possible, right? Especially coming from someone that has a more neutral undertone with warmer toned hair. That can definitely get tricky for sure. But why don't we go ahead and get started? I will absolutely be taking notes. So let's see, we have the spring, summer sections here. Then we have this, okay. So, wonderful. Let's start with a undertone analysis. And thank you for doing your skincare, not wearing any makeup, because sometimes, the makeup undertones will kind of contrast with what is naturally present. So it gives us a bit more context when it's a fresh face. So we're going to do an undertone analysis. So why don't we start by placing your hands palm upside so I can see what color your veins present, right? So this is kind of a simple way to see, when they're present and you have a certain undertone, it can alter the color, right? So if you're a bit more cool toned, you'll be a bit more purple blue, right? Whereas if you're warm, it might be a bit more green. And typically in neutral, we can kind of see a mix of both. So I'm just gonna have here, right on this lovely notepad, we have your left nice, really fresh, but it kind of, I don't know how to say it, like the hollows under your eyes kind of come out. So we will put that in the maybe, revisit it when we have a bit more understanding of the other colors. So, fun fact, True Red is the only color that suffices for all color palettes. So this one I can tell immediately, it just brings a flushness to your cheeks without making you too red, right? It doesn't bring out any redness, any blemishes. It really just centers around your cheeks and your lips, okay? And this one's immediate. I mean, you could tell. I would say look in the mirror right here off to your side and see this with here and without. You see that? It really does clear up your face almost and make it very bright, and that's what we're looking for. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. I'm going to put that in the yes. Alright, so this one is a bit of a more muted color, so the other one was a richer one. This one might suffice. Because I do know that you do have a bit of a darker hair, right? So really you're trying to balance the contrast between your eyes, your eyebrows, your lips, your hair, as well as complementing your undertone. So this one kind of okay, I'm just gonna get a little bit up closer if you don't mind. Just really see how that brightens you up. I do notice that it makes you look just like a little bit muddy. It's not my favorite versus the plum. Let's go back to the plum. This one just looks so indulgent and rich. And that's the thing. I really have to trust my intuition here in knowing that it doesn't draw away from your features, whereas this one I feel like I'm noticing the color on you rather than complimenting you, if that makes sense. So for this one, I'm going to put in the no. Here's a nice cream white. You can even see on me how much that clears up. Right, you could really see the difference here. You see that? So, let's try this one on you. That's really tricky and interesting because I do think that it washes you out just a little bit, which is interesting. Typically, true whites and blacks, even though I do think that it looks good on so many people, the ones that it looks best on is a true winter. So, okay, I'm going to put this one in the maybe. It does brighten you up, really make your eyes pop, but it kind of strips away that color from your face. And you really want that rosiness to pop without, being overly gone. You don't want to be flushed out and look super, tired. Now let's see this one. This one is a bit more of a salmon color. I will say, I don't think you're a spring. This one, while it is pretty, I feel like I can confidently say that you notice the color on you first instead immediately to the color of the garment, right? Versus your beautiful cheekbones, your color, your hair. Kind of takes away from that. Okay. Yeah, I think this is almost a little too warm for you. So I'm going to put that in no. And that's okay. Let's see, this one's very warm as well. But how do we feel? Are you liking this color on you? Yeah, how do you feel about it? Yeah, I would say that it kind of increases like a little bit of muddiness around this area for you. And it doesn't brighten you up as much as I feel like it should. And again, it's one of those things you see where your eye goes to the color instead of feeling that it's synonymous with your features, you know? So I don't think that you're perfectly warm. I don't think you're leaning super, super warm because we did see a little bit of some cool undertones. But I do think you were leaning neutral. I think the warm may be a bit too warm. You don't want to lean too warm, such as a spring or an autumn. But we might be going into kind of a soft winter for you, or a soft summer. We'll really have to see with, playing around with the tones. So let's go into kind of this metallic, cool blue. So as you can see, it kind of brightens me up, but I lose a little bit of that color. It's not terrible, but I would say that, I don't know, this color can be a little tricky, but let's see it on yourself, okay? Okay. Okay, I think this is one of those situations where the last one was too warm, and this one's too cool for you. Okay. Do you mind just looking up for me? Okay. 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 I do think that this is a little bit too cool for you, but it does brighten you up nice. I'm starting to think that you're more of a soft winter, right? Where you're not having that super, super rich, deep, dark hair and eyes and features, but it's still leaning cool neutral, where you can pull off some of those warmer shades, but they would have to be a little bit more muted. Okay. See, this one definitely blends in, but I think it does make you look a little too warm, Kind of brings out those orangey tones. You see? Let's put this one in the maybe because although it is a bit rich, it has a bit too much warmth here. I think this will be really telling too about. Okay, I will say, I think this one makes you look a little red, a bit like Perry the Platypus. It's okay, but I think this color is one of those things where it's not complementing your features, your beautiful, beautiful features, but making you look a little bit too rosy. Although, do you see that? The change and how it softens, yeah. Let's go with no for that one. So I'm really seeing that these colors that are a bit warmer for you, or too cool, are a bit too much. So I feel like you're a bit in between with your undertones here. So this is going to be a black. nice, almost cobalt blue. Okay. I would say that perhaps if it was a little muted, I do think it is pretty. Pulls a little rosy on you, but I would say that this is definitely a solid maybe, and then we could really compare what your yeses are, your maybes, and your nos, and that will be able to determine your palette quite nicely. So here's, oh, that's a beautiful color for you. This is almost a Bordeaux, a super rich red. You know, I will say it does have just ever so slightly that warmth in that red, which is nice for you. I like it. It's almost like a rusted red. I would say, yeah. It doesn't make you overly rosy, overly kind of just tired looking. It just kind of looks like it blends in with you, and that's really what we're looking for. Interesting. Very interesting. And here's the true red. Okay. Yeah, I think instantly, right? So this one definitely is a bit on the cooler side, so it kind of just, it's not as flattering as this one, I would say. Between the differences, I think that this one pops a lot on you, whereas this one kind of balances you out. So take a look with this one in the mirror. And then this one, it's almost a bit fuchsia-like, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with this one. That subtle, warm undertone that complements that warmth you had. Okay, this one's definitely gonna be a spring color. How are you feeling? How are you feeling with this one? Do you feel a bit too peachy? A bit too peach. Okay. Yeah, I think it's almost too warm for you to be a spring. I don't think you have like even a soft spring, right? Where it's like these almost like blush colors would look good on you. I see with the blue it almost washes you out with the lighting, but when it's its true color, I think it doesn't look as complimenting as some of the other ones have been. So this one's a tricky one even for, you know, many people. It's almost this an in-between color here where it's muted, but it still has a little bit of that vibrancy and warmth that complements your skin. It just blends and melts in right away, where you notice the color, but not where it's so that you get lost in the color. I think this one complements you beautifully. Like, imagine a nice blouse like this that drapes so beautifully. It's not too rosy, it's not too warm. Yeah, it's a bit of a forest green with a little bit of warmth. Kind of a warm teal that's a bit muted and deeper. I like that one. It's very nice. I feel the same that would be for you in navy. Oh, this one's very bright. I will say, definitely better than this one. But it's a bit too warm, too spring. That just make you look a little bit overtly warm. I'm gonna put that one in no, but that's okay. Oh, here we go. With Miss Shiny Teeth and me. Again, I think this one could look better if it was a bit more muted on you. You see, I will say it is better than the other one because this one is a bit more neutral. You see? Yeah, I definitely, okay, I do think you're fearing neutral there, where you can pull off kind of colors that don't lean on either spectrum. Okay, I'm gonna put that one in the maybe to have the note. So I'm gonna have you as a neutral. Okay. And I'm gonna say you slightly pull cool. Because for a lot of the true warmer colors, it tends to kind of just make the complexion a bit muddy. Okay, I think we're getting super, super close. Here we go. I think I see where this is going. Oh, that is dashing on you. And I think it's because it's not as dark as like a true winter would be. But you're a bit more of a soft winter here. Okay, I'm seeing it come together for you. Absolutely. Now this one's a bit. If this was a little warmer, I think it would look really, really great on you. So I'll put that in the maybe. And I see that it really brought out your eyebrows, and it complemented your eyes, your lip, really evened out the skin tone with this one. So this one may be leaning more to yes. I would say having this shade of blue would be really pretty for you. You see? Drape this on you. Let's compare it to the previous color. I know they're a bit different, but I think they have different undertones that can speak to more that you're in. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so this one is a bit more neutral, whereas this one is a bit too cool. So that's that one to the no. Alright, I do think we have a good selection here, and we're gonna give you a final color palette to go with. I'll email you a beautiful section of colors that work best on you, your palette, and we'll move from there. So these were the colors I would say that didn't register as flattering as some of the other ones. So these kind of pull to be a bit warm and spring. I would say very bright. And I think you veer is the undertone. So while these I do feel would look good on you, we're trying to see what works best, you know? And that's really where the muted, deeper colors look very nice on you. Where it's the reds and the muted, where you can kind of pull from a lot of different colors here. So we have a nice steel. This one I really liked on you. And this one in particular, it really just blended in quite nicely. It didn't overly make you red. I thought the black was you could pull off for sure. Let's see. Alrighty. I think for an initial analysis, we made some wonderful progress. Again, I'm going to go back to a soft winter. So I will email you the full package of colors that work best. Do you mind just, I know you mentioned it before, but do you mind sharing your email again? Okay. And then, oh, okay, and then Alright, so I will go ahead and send that to you very shortly, right after our appointment, but I do believe that it is peppermint. Peppermint hot chocolate time. It is going to be so luxurious, and I'm going to put a little pieces of chocolate to really have that indulgent factor and some peppermint cold foam. It will be so delicious, and I can't wait. I do have some Biscoff cookies and some crinkle cookies, some